What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Naughty Nev. So today, I want to bring you a video where I'm just trying something new. As you guys already know, I play a specific build where it is Cyber Dragons with the Fiendsmith engine as well as the Kashtira engine. And my build is built to go first. But now, the States Championships are over and there are many ways to play Cyber Dragons. And so coming across certain videos, I remember coming across this one Italian player who took Cyber Dragons to the Italian WCQ Nationals, and he was playing a pure version of Cyber Dragons, going second. And I thought to myself, you know what? Actually, I would like to give it a try. I want to have some fun. Let me try a different build and see how it goes. So, the video I'm presenting you today is I'm trying out his deck list, as you can see on the screen before you. However, I just made a slight changes, mainly in the side deck, and I think the extra deck and the main deck is the same, relatively the same, but the side deck is different. But otherwise, the main deck and the extra deck is relatively the same. The side deck is the only thing that is different. I will add a link to his video in the description below for you guys to check it out. But otherwise, guys, here is a quick rundown of the main deck. So we have 2 Cyber Dragons, 3 Cyber Dragon Core, 1 Hertz, 1 Nashta, 1 Cyber Jormungandr, 1 Chimera, 3 Claw, 1 Cyber Dark Worm. Then we are maxing out on the Multramis, 3 Fualos, 3 Purulia. We're putting Meowls in the side deck. I decided to put Meowls in the side deck. This wasn't in Antonio, I believe that is his name. This wasn't in his side deck. I just decided to add it against Malice. So Meowls and Lancia are there up against Malice. And so 3 Fualos, 3 Purulia, 1 Regulus, 1 Corby, 2 Clockwork Knight, 3 Cyber Emergency, 3 Cyber Dark Realm, 1 Cyberlord Fusion, 1 Cybernetic Horizon, 2 Lightning Storm, and guys, we got the reprint with the Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Of course, I'm going to be playing this alt art of it. Then we have 1 Poly, 2 Power Bonds, 2 Sales Ban, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, and 1 Triple Tactics Thrust. In the side deck, we have 3 Lancia, 3 Ash Blossom. We have 3 Bestials. It would have been Crossout and like 2 Bell, but I decided to put the Bestials mainly for Rizal Mitsurugi, the Mitsurugi part of the engine, and also for Orcus, because Orcus will be more popular as it was at the recent WCQ at North America. 3 Droll and then 3 Meowls. In the extra deck, we have 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. You can play 1, and you could play another Nova, but I decided to play 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon because in like some of the recent matchups, it has come up where I needed a second one, so I decided to play 2. 1 Mega Fleet, 2 Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. We play 1 Cyber End Dragon and 1 Cyber Eternity Dragon. This is mainly to send off Cybernetic Horizon. Then we play 1 Heroes of Varag, 1 Infinity, 1 Nova, 2 Clockwork Knight, 1 Cyber Dragon Seeger, however you say it, SP Little Knight, and we play the Sky Striker Ace Azalea, a really good card to play in Cyber Dragons, especially the pure build. So guys, this is the deck list. I just wanted to quickly show you guys, but now let's hop right into the matchup where we went up against Vanquish Soul. Okay guys, this is the ranked duel. As you can see, we are playing the pure version of Cyber Dragons, going second. Relatively the same build as Antonio, who played this at the Italian Nationals. And then we have our opponent who has opened up Vanquish Soul Jiaolong. I assume that's how you say it. He has 2 Vanquish Soul Start, which is the new field spell for Vanquish Soul, Triple Tactics Talent, and a Droll in Lockbird. In our opening hand, we have Cyber Dark Chimera, Cyber Dark Claw, Purulia, Clockwork Knight, and Cyber Dark Realm. So, I believe, I can't remember, to be honest with you guys, but because we're playing a pure Cyber Dragon build, we are obviously going second this time. So whether we won or lost the rock, paper, scissors, I cannot remember. We're going second. That's the most important part. So opponent is going to enter their standby phase, and in the standby phase, I want to drop the Purulia. You want to drop the Purulia because you don't want to wait till the main phase, and Purulia only lets you draw a card when your opponent summons from the hand, and that's typically the normal summon. So guys, if you have Purulia in your hand, drop it in the standby phase or the draw phase, perfectly fine. Just don't do it in the main phase. Don't waste your opportunity to draw a card. So we drop the Purulia in the standby phase. Opponent has no response to that, and I believe that this is not really a playable hand because Jiaolong is a level 5. He has no other Vanquish Soul to use its effect to reveal itself, to summon itself to the field, and Soul to add another Vanquish Soul monster with a different attribute. I believe this obviously doesn't do anything for him, and luckily we did play Purulia in the standby phase because he has talents. If we drop this in the main phase, well, actually, it wouldn't matter because he had no plays, but you get what I'm saying. If you did this in the main phase, you're playing into a talents. So that worked for our favor regardless. So they pause for turn, and guys, we draw into a talent. So enter the main phase. Here I decide to use Cyberdog Claw. So a neat thing with this build is we don't only use Cyberdog Claw to search for Cyberdog Realm. You can also search for Cybernetic Horizon because it is always treated as a Cyberdog card. So we get Cybernetic Horizon to our hand, and on resolution, our opponent will drop the Droll and Lockbird onto us. We have no response to that, and so all I can do right now is go Talents to look at my opponent's hand. And obviously, I decided to put back the Jiaolong because if he does draw into another Vanquish Soul monster, that can get his Jiaolong life after he reveals it, for example. Basically, he has spells in his hand. The 2 field spells don't do anything, especially the talent, so this is put back the monster. And now here, I just pause for turn. I simply can't do anything, especially under draw. So give it to our opponent, and they draw into Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. As still, opponent has no place, and here our opponent decides to scoop because in the next turn, he can just assume we have the cards we need, and guys, it was definitely going to be game for us. We can just go into Chimeric Rampage Dragon, attack for game. Cool. So we go into game number 2. It was an unfortunate start for our opponent, but let's see if our opponent has a better hand. So in our opening hand, we have Cyber Dragon, Fuwalos, Poly, Cyber Dragon Core, and Purulia, 2 fantastic Mulch armies. Let's go. Opponent has Droll and Lockbird, Vanquish Soul, Heavy Borgia, Triple Tactics, Thrust, Vanquish Soul, Holly Sue. I assume that's how you say it. This is the new Vanquish Soul monster. And opponent has another Droll and Lockbird. So they have 2 Droll, 1 to use against us because obviously we have the Mulch armies, and second in our own turn when we start our play in turn number 2. So opponent is looking good. We are also okay, but unfortunately we're going to have to play into 2 Droll and Lockbirds, but let's see what happens. So in the standby phase, I drop the Purulia. Opponent has no response. But because our opponent has Thrust and we did activate a monster effect this turn, opponent will activate it and they will set a Dimensional Barrier. Perfect card for our opponent. That now stops us from OTKing our opponent, and from here, our opponent just simply passes for turn. You know, that's a good move to make. You just have to call fusions. We can't OTK you. Simple as that. So we draw for turn. We draw into a Fuwalos, guys. So now here I was thinking, I knew that he had the Dimensional Barrier set. So I was thinking, do I even want to commit? Even if I didn't try go for OTK, I still need another level 5, which could possibly be the Chimeric Rampage Dragon, to just go into Cyber Dragon Infinity. So after a few seconds of thinking, I decide, you know what, let me just pause for turn. I have 2 Fuwalos in my hand anyway. So, you know, it's a risk I can take. Opponent will start their turn, draw into Reinforcement of the Army. Perfect starter for them. So they're going to enter the main phase. They're going to start with Reinforcement of the Army. This will get them Vanquish Soul Raisin to their hand. We have no draw on res, of course. Normal summon the Raisin effect. This will add 1 Vanquish Soul monster that isn't a warrior to their hand. That is going to be the Vanquish Soul Dr. Madlove. And then on res, I decide to just drop the Fuwalos because they do play the Link 1, of course, in Vanquish Soul. So before he brings it out, let me just drop the Fuwalos. I just dropped a single copy of Fuwalos because just in case, since he has to play on the Fuwalos, he doesn't Link Summon. I don't want to waste the second Fuwalos just yet. So opponent will activate the Heavy Borgia effect, return Raisin to hand, and this will special summon the Borgia onto the field. They will use the Borgia effect, revealing Dark, to draw a card. Next, they'll activate Vanquish Soul Holly Sue, reveal the Dr. Madlove to special summon herself. Opponent will enter battle phase, deal for 2,500 damage as well as 500. Opponent will activate Holly Sue, revealing Fire, And Dark, yes, this is to special summon from the deck a non-psychic monster. And here I decide to chain the second copy of Fuwalos. So we get one draw off of it. Oh, sorry, two draws actually. Opponent will summon Dr. Madlove. So we draw into Sales Ban and we draw into Clockwork Knight. Opponent will attack for an extra 1,200 damage. So just a mistake here. He didn't want to attack. He wanted to declare the effect of Dr. Madlove, which is perfectly fine. I'll let you go through. Then he can attack us for 1,200. Then in main phase 2, opponent will activate the field spell, Vanquish Soul Start. I can't remember what he targeted, but he will get Jiaolong to his hand. Then in the end phase, the field spell will set the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil because I believe, yes, that he controls two or more Vanquish Soul monsters, so gets to set that trap. Pretty good field spell for Vanquish Soul. And then I was just asking him what cards I know that are in his hand. So it's a Jiaolong, Dr. Madlove, and Raisin. Now, in the standby phase, after drawing talents for turn, opponent will activate Borga just to deal, I believe, yes, 1,500 damage. Cool. Now we're in the main phase. So I decided to go Sales Ban because calling the Snow Devil, by the way, because I know this card has an effect where basically it's a board wipe, destroys all our monsters. I could have called Valious Caesar. I believe that's the correct name, but the Snow Devil is also a problem. So I just decided, let me just get rid of it now, bait it out right now. So that is exactly what our opponent is going to do. They're going to use its effect. They reveal a whole bunch of attributes like dark, earth, and fire, and then in sequence it will go through each effect. His Vanquish Soul monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects, destroys all other monsters on the field, and he can summon from the hand, I believe, and additionally he can deal in a total of 1,800 damage. Then on a new chain, Raisin's effect will search Valious Caesar Valious, there we go, actually that's the correct way. So now, since our opponent activated a monster effect during the main phase, we'll go Talents, and I decided, you know what, let me draw two. I possibly could have said look at hand because essentially we did have Cyber Dragon Core, but at the same time, Cyber Dragon Core was our only starter for our combos. So I wanted to see what we could draw into. We did draw into Power Bond and Cyber Blood Fusion. Ideally not what I was looking for. I was hoping for maybe a Cyber Dark Realm or Cyber Dark Claw. But you got to play with the cards you dealt with. So on resolution, opponent will hit us with the draw, and here we obviously can't do any more searching, so we can't OTK. Well, we can. We have Power Bond, but you know what I mean. We can't combo off to OTK. So we activate Clockwork Knight. No response from our opponent. Special summon Cyber Dragon. On the summon, opponent will now activate Deep Area, call Fusion. Very good call from our opponent. I normal summon the core. Obviously can't use its effect because you're under draw. Then opponent decides to activate Raisin to destroy, I believe, destroy monsters in this card's column. Yes, so core is going to get destroyed. That was my mistake. I shouldn't have summoned it there. I should have summoned it in the empty zone over here. I believe what I was trying to do was trying to go into my Link 2 Sky Striker Ace Azalea, but that was a mistake on my side. So guys, please remember, Raisin does have that other effect where it reveals a Fire and Dark to destroy all monsters in this card's column. So the placement of your cards, and to be specific, your monsters, it does matter. So that was a mistake on my side. Then obviously my opponent was going to have the upper hand because we can't do much under draw and we locked out of fusion. So eventually I decided to scoop, and let's hop right into game number 3. So in game number 3, we decided we're going second, guys. We are committing to going second. So in our opening hand, we have Cyber Emergency, Clockwork Knight, Cyber Dark Chimera, another Emergency, and Cyber Dark Claw. Opponent has Thrust, Raisin, Fuwalos, Droll, and Nibiru's. 3 hand traps, but unfortunately the Fuwalos will be dead because, opponent is going first. So technically we have to go through a Droll as well as a Nibiru. But we have no hand traps in our hand, so the opponent's talents will be dead as well. So in the main phase, opponent will normal summon Raisin, Raisin effect. Raisin will add Dr. Madlove to his hand. Opponent will link summon into the Rock Out the Vanquisher, the Link 1. Use its effect and it will special summon Dr. Madlove from the hand. Dr. Madlove effect will search the field spell for our opponent. Opponent will activate the field spell, target Dr. Madlove to get Holisu, not Solisu. Holy Sue to the hand, and opponent will pass for turn. Opponent can't activate this last effect because this is Rock of the Vanquisher. It's not a Vanquish Soul monster, so unfortunately for our opponent, they won't be able to set a trap from the deck. So we draw for turn and redraw into Cyber Dragon. Guys, like, it's beautiful. Just simply get rid of that Link 1, or just force him to use the Link 1's effect to summon from the hand or add back from the deck early on in the game. So in the main phase, we activate Clockwork Knight, trying to see what our opponent will do. Opponent doesn't do anything, so we special summon Cyber Dragon from our hand. On the summon, opponent will activate Rock of the Vanquisher to add Raisin back to his hand. Then we carry on playing. We will activate Cyber Emergency, and now I was under the assumption, okay, if I get hit with Withdrawal, let me just add the core. I can just simply be prepared for next turn if I do survive. So we add the Cyber Dragon core to our hand. On resolution, opponent will activate Draw, but this also shuts off our opponent, so our opponent can't do any searching, especially if they summon Raisin from the hand. We normal summon core, obviously no effect because of draw. And now I decide to contact Fuse using Fortress Dragon. I don't use Mega Fleet only for the reason that we play 2 Fortress Dragons. I can still save Mega Fleet for later on in the turn. So I just go into Fortress Dragon, linking away his Rock of the Vanquisher and Dr. Madlove. And now here I decide to enter Battle Phase and simply just attack for a total of 6,100 attack, I believe. Yeah, 6,100 attack. In the main phase 2, trying to think, I can probably get rid of that field spell so that he doesn't have it. So I link into SP effect, target a field spell, and we're going to banish it. I'm not sure if it was a good idea to maybe target one of the cards in the graveyard, but I feel like getting rid of that field spell is pretty good so that he does not have an advantage during his turn. So then we pass for turn. Opponent draws into a copy of Walos. Opponent will enter the main phase. Normal summon Raisin effect. I don't chain SP because essentially the other effect to destroy all monsters in the column is an activated effect. And also, I wasn't sure what the other cards were in his hand, where if I did chain SP to banish both, he could simply, like, for example, Heavy Borger just tag out, then SP loses target. So I don't chain SP just yet. Opponent will add the Heavy Borger to his hand, by the way. Then link summon into Rock of the Vanquisher. Activate Vanquisher to add back from the graveyard. And I still let this go through. So opponent will get Raisin back to his hand. Opponent will activate Holy Sue, revealing Heavy Borger to summon herself. Let that go through. Holy Sue effect, reveal Fire, and I believe, yes, Dark as well, to special summon from the deck. Let it go through. Opponent will special summon Dr. Madlove, and Madlove effect will get Vanquish Soul Snow Devil to his hand. Opponent will enter battle phase, and here my opponent believe he wasn't aware of Clockwork Knight effect. My monsters gain 500 attack, his monsters loses 500 attack. And I believe, I'm not sure if any other cards gave him an additional attack boost. I am not sure. I think there was. He was going to use this effect over here that I'm highlighting, where one face of monster I control loses 500 attack and defense, but that will simply just put SP back to 1,600 attack. So he does enter the battle phase, declares the effect, and then I was just explaining to him about Clockwork Knight's effect. So eventually, Dr. Madlove declared an attack, it will get destroyed by battle. Opponent will take some damage. Main phase 2, opponent will set Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. Xyz summon into the new Xyz monster, Vanquish Soul Rocks. Just for you guys who don't know what it does, once per turn, if a Vanquish Soul monster battled this turn, you can also Xyz summon this monster by using one Vanquish Soul monster or one Rock of the Vanquisher you control, transfer its materials to discard. Gains the following effects based on the attributes of its attached material. In this case, it's Earth. So if it was Dark, all monsters we control lose 800 attack. If it was a Fire, Vanquish Soul monsters our opponent controls gain 1,000 attack. And if it's Earth, which it is, you can detach one material from this card, destroy one card your opponent controls. Opponent will activate the effect. And then I was just quickly reading if it was on summon effect or what it does. So opponent will activate the effect, and I believe he wanted to pop the... Wait, does it target? Let me just make sure. It doesn't target. So this was the only time I could use SP to protect yourself. So I activate SP, banishing the Link 1 as well as itself. And so our opponent will just pop our Clockwork Knight. Since we activate the monster effect, opponent will activate talents to look at our hand, and our opponent will shuffle back the Cyber Emergency, which is perfectly fine for us because we do have Cyberlock Claw, which is still combo. Then opponent will proceed to an end phase, and SP and the Rock of the Vanquisher will return back to the hand, and we draw for turn, we draw into a Draw and Lockbird. Alright, so we enter the main phase. I activate Cyberlock Claw. Cyberlock Claw is searching for Cyberlock Realm, preferably. Opponent will chain Rock of the Vanquisher to add back from the graveyard. And here I was thinking whether to chain SP, which I do decide to do, targeting SP and the Rock of the Vanquisher. The reason why we do this is mainly just for this effect, like the link forces us to attack a monster with the highest attack, so we don't want to do that in case we can't get access to Power Bond, or when we bring out Chimera Rampage Dragon and he's only at 2100 attack. So I decide, let me just use it now. Then, resolving the chain, we get Cyberlock Realm to our hand. On resolution, opponent will activate Vanquish Soul Holly Sue, revealing Raisin to summon from the hand. Holly Sue effect, reveal Raisin again for fire, as well as Heavy Borger for dark, to summon from the deck. Opponent will summon another Raisin. Raisin's effect, on summon, will add Caesar Valius to his hand, and then our opponent will activate Caesar Valius, returning Holly Sue to hand to summon itself. Now here I was thinking what I would like to do. Now Draw is a dead card in our hand, so this can help us in terms of Clockwork Knight, but I also have a Cyber Dragon Core in grave. Oh yes, guys, now that I remember, I did chain SP to that effect because this allows us to empty our field for Cyber Dragon Core to go live. So now that I remember, this was a calculated move. So we activate Cyber Dragon Core, and here we're going to summon Cyber Dragon Nashter, because Nashter can reborn the Cyber Dragon from our graveyard. I'm not sure if this was the correct monster to summon. If you guys think there was a better move to make, let me know down in the comments below, but I decided to summon Cyber Dragon Nashter. Nashter's effect to reborn our Cyber Dragon. I was just explaining to our opponent that Cyber Dragon Core summons a Cyber Dragon monster, not OG Cyber Dragon. So summoning Nashter was valid. Then opponent lets it go through. On a resolution, opponent decides to activate the trap card Soul, Snow, Devil. So in sequence, opponent will be revealing a Dark, an Earth, and a Fire. Basically, we take 1800 damage. Vanquish all monsters, cannot be destroyed by card effects, destroys all monsters we control, and opponent gets to summon a monster from the hand. Opponent decides not to summon a monster from the hand, so continuing play, I activate Cyberlock Realm. Opponent will chain Caesar Valius, there we go, revealing Dark, Earth, and a Fire, which he will just now, cool, and he will pop our Cyberlock Realm. Very unfortunate for us, but we still have Cyberlock Chimera already in our hand, guys. And so the only move here was normal summon Cyberlock Chimera. Obviously, we don't have a spell or trap in our hand to use its effect yet. So we're going to use Chimera, link summon into Clockwork Knight. Chain link 1 will be Cyberlock Chimera to send Cyberlock Worm to grave. Here I decide to activate the Clockwork Knight effect because we need to protect ourselves against Dominus Impulse, but I believe they can't play it because they play Fire. Actually, I can't remember the restrictions. But the point is, we need to protect ourselves against Nibiru or Dominus Impulse. So we activate Clockwork Knight, banish itself, discard the Droll. Droll is useless in our hand. We're going to search Therion King Regulus. Then here I was thinking whether I want to commit to Cyberlock Worm or King Regulus, but obviously summon your Regulus first. I will target the Cyber Dragon in our grave because that's the ideal target. We don't need Cyber Dragon anymore. It will be a good card to equip. Opponent will chain Heavy Borger, bounce back the Xyz monster to summon itself. Then on a new chain, opponent will activate Heavy Borger's effect, reveal Fire and Earth to deal 1500 damage to us. Now we activate Cyberlock Worm effect, sending Hertz to grave as cost. Opponent lets it go through, so Worm will summon itself, and we get Cyberlock Realm back to our hand. On a new chain, Hertz effect will activate. We will add Nashter back to our hand. Then we activate Clockwork Knight, targeting the Chimera in our grave, summon itself, and then we tribute the Worm to grave. On resolution, opponent activates Nibiru, and thankfully we have the Therion King Regulus for this to negate Then we continue playing, activate Chimeo's effect, discard the realm as cost, search Power Bond, and now we can successfully fusion summon using Power Bond. And here I was thinking what else I can go to. Obviously, I can't put Fiendsmith cards in rotation because we're playing pure Cyber Dragons. But simply I decide, can't really do much here. So let me just simply fusion summon into Chimera Rampage Dragon. So we'll use the effect to send. We'll send Jormungandr as well as Cyber Dragon Core to the grave. Then I attempt to enter battle phase. So Chimera Rampage Dragon is at 4,200 attack. We attack into Caesar Valius. Opponent will take 1,200 damage. Then we clear the 2 other monsters using Chimera Rampage Dragon. And thankfully, we had Clockwork Knight. So Clockwork Knight had 500 attack. That's more than enough life points to win the duel. Now, what I should have done, just in case something went south, I should have kept this guy in attack just for an additional 800 attack. But thankfully, it worked out, guys. So Cyber Dragon takes the win. This was quite a grindy game, to be honest, and this required a lot of thinking from my side, especially playing pure Cyber Dragons. I had to try see what I can do, what's the correct move, how to play around our opponent's interruptions. But guys, it worked out in the end. Cyber Dragon takes the win against Vanquish Soul. That obviously brings us to the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the next few episodes where I will be playing with this build of pure Cyber Dragons, going second, OTK style. Let me know what you guys think. I am open to your suggestions or what else you would like to see. Otherwise, guys, NaughtyNev signing out. Peace.